feel about the Somali fraud in Minneapolis?
I'll be honest, I haven't researched it a lot, but from what it looks like to me is it looks like it's a made-up concept from people trying to smear Governor Walz.
I have to believe that the governor's office and Keith Ellison's office were aware of this. They've said they were involved in helping the FBI. They've said they were made aware, but apparently I'm scary, so they couldn't do anything.
We started this video by saying that fraud is fraud, and fraud has no nationality, fraud has no race, fraud is not affiliated to either of political parties. Fraud is fraud, and anyone that is involved with fraud must face the full wrath of the law. Anyone that has been involved or has been accused of fraud and there is evidence that indeed this person was committing the act of defrauding people, that person must face the full wrath of the law. That person must be punished according to the law. It doesn't matter whether it's white, whether it's brown, whether it's purple, whether it's black. Fraud is fraud, and fraud jeopardizes an entire country. And if a country, condones fraud, that country is going to be a banana republic. Watch this lady first of all, and then I am coming back to react after this.
And a Fox News alert also in Minnesota, the convicted ringleader of one of the state's biggest fraud schemes is speaking to Fox News from behind bars. Now,
I have to believe that the governor's office and Keith Ellison's office were aware of this. They've said they were involved in helping the FBI. They've said they were made aware, but apparently I'm scary, so they couldn't do anything.
So Bach ran this nonprofit called Feeding Our Future. You might have heard of it. It was one of dozens convicted in this $250 million scam. You can see her mugshot there. Prosecutors say this group set up sham restaurants. They pretended they were making these meals. They got paid by the state for those meals, but they just pocketed the cash. Bach, who's looking at 30 years behind bars, tells me the state signed off on those businesses, not her.
It all went through a process. They were all approved, they were all paid by the state, yet all the fingers are being pointed at me.
And it's not just Bach. Whistleblowers told a congressional committee Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Attorney General Keith Ellison there ignored warnings for years as millions of dollars and millions were stolen on their watch. Congress is investigating a long list of massive fraud schemes in the state. It's hard to keep up. Prosecutors say it's led to at least $9 billion in fraud, Dana, and counting. Congress also asking why the Attorney General there would meet with a group of Somali fraudsters, which were under FBI investigation in 2021. The group can be heard in an audio clip given to us by Bach's lawyer offering to donate to his campaign if he can help them get their funding flowing again. Ellison denies any wrongdoing here. He slammed Bach in a statement to Fox, calling her a liar and manipulator, adding now she's on a media tour to deflect her guilt onto others instead of finally taking responsibility for this fraud scheme that she ran. So we reached out to Governor Walz too, Dana. He didn't get back to us. House Republicans say it's just getting started. They want to subpoena Walz and Ellison because they say they're responsible for ripping off American taxpayers.
well, incredible interview. Thank you for bringing.
How do you feel about the Somali fraud in Minneapolis?
I'll be honest, I haven't researched it a lot, but from what it looks like to me is it looks like it's a made-up concept from people trying to smear Governor Walz.
I checked into that a little bit, right? There's nothing going on there. There's like this edgelord going around stirring up his mega conservative base, but none of this stuff is rooted in truth and reality. And I think if you just go out, do your own research, like actually do that, like go and just like look at video evidence, come to a realistic opinion about what's going on in the world. It's a scapegoat.
And this, my friends, is why all of this is happening. Why they're out there, they're hiding that fraud. This is a big smoke screen to distract you guys. So they get away with the fraud. Wake up, people. Please. It's all about money and control. Haven't you guys figured that out yet? No, that's right, you haven't. Because they have control over you. Trump, can you just make insane asylums, great again? Bring them back, because we need to start filling them up. Okay? Like, I know you want to get the other people out, but we need to get the other people, put in somewhere. Okay?
Where's that guy? You know, the guy that had the camera and he was in Minnesota and he was like going around all the Somali neighborhoods and like harassing the Somalians and like busting down the doors at the daycares because he was going to break the case wide open and find those damn fraudster Somalians that were running that fraud group. And, you know, go back to where you came from crowd. You know who I'm talking about? Can somebody let him know that they found the ringleader of those damn fraudster Somali? They found the ringleader. They did. Her name's Amy.
Somebody please explain this to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Why is it everybody in social media and even the mainstream media and the government calling this Somali fraud when the founder and president of Feeding Our Children, which defrauded the federal government of millions of dollars, was a white Christian lady named Amy Bach? And the ones who got her busted were black Somali people who went to the federal government and told on her that she was committing fraud. Now, while there are some 70 plus people of Somali ethnicity who were also charged with her, they were all her underlings, most of which pled guilty to minor crimes just because they couldn't afford lawyers and trials. So when you actually look at it, the mastermind behind this whole thing were about 5 white people, Amy and then 4 of her underlings. The rest were Somalis, most of whom were like secretaries and stuff, people who had no idea what was really happening. But because they got charged in it, they just simply pled guilty to lesser crimes just to get it done and over with because they aren't rich and can't afford lawyers. So please explain this to me. Why is this Somali fraud? Why is Rick Scott not being talked about? Senator Rick Scott, who defrauded the federal government of the same type of crime for over $1 billion, and in exchange, not only does he not get found guilty, but he gets to walk away with over $60 million and become senator.
This, ladies and gentlemen, so these guys were running shambolic restaurants. In addition to shambolic daycares and shambolic health facilities, they were also running shambolic restaurants. That is what we have heard from the white lady, that they were going to the state, lying to them that they are cooking meals, but there is nothing that they were cooking. Actually, the only thing that they were cooking at the moment is lies. They were only cooking lies. They were not cooking meals, as alleged, ladies and gentlemen. This is a well-connected fraud. No wonder why this is the biggest fraud to ever happen in the United States of America. And it's not going down anytime soon. It's not going down anytime soon. Every time we feel, oh, things have gone down, there is something new. Every time we feel, oh, things have gone down, there is something new. Every day, there is something new. Every day, there's another story awakening. Every single day. It's not going down. Ladies and gentlemen, it is wrong to steal taxpayers' money. And when we are talking about these issues, let us put emotions and let us put emotions, nationality, racism aside, because we are tackling fraud, and fraud affects everyone. Fraud affects everyone. Fraud affects the entire country. And if the state allows fraud to go on unpunished, that will be the end of United States of America. United States of America will no longer become the superpower. It will become the banana republic. Why? Because it has allowed fraud to go on. Imagine USA getting destroyed by a few groups of people. That will never happen. That will never happen. Some people are saying, oh, they are politicizing all these things. It's not political. It's not a lie. Tell me about the apartments that have been built in Kenya. Tell me about the malls that have been built in Kenya. Imagine over $9 billion getting stolen, and then this same money is getting reinvested somewhere else outside USA. The people that were supposed to benefit from this money, that is the autistic people and all these needy people that were supposed to, they did not get any help. And it's the taxpayers who are footing their services. Imagine working so hard, paying bills, and then your same money that you're working hard for is escaping or is finding its way to another person's pocket, all the way to some other place. And then you want people to remain silent. You don't want people to talk. They must talk about this. They must always say something. They are not going to let this slide. Some people, some people, some of these few groups of people, stealing taxpayers' money or stealing public resources or public funds is a normal thing for them. They believe that the tax that they have stolen is theirs. It's not yours. USA is different. USA is not another country. Eh?
Yes, welcome to my channel, ladies and gentlemen. The white woman that was working hand in hand, the white lady that was working hand in hand with Somali fraudsters, she's in prison as we speak. And she's facing, is it 30 years? Yes, she's facing 30 years jail term. And guess what? She's not going down at all. She has said that she's not going down at all. And she's exposing without fear everyone who was involved. And she has also mentioned the governor. She's saying that the governor was so much aware of what was going on. Let me ask you, ladies and gentlemen, imagine someone stealing $9 billion. $9 billion has just gone overnight. And then there is no groundwork. There is no insiders involved. There must be insiders. There must be insiders. You cannot steal you cannot steal $9 billion USD dollars without insiders getting involved. They must also have their own shares so that what? So that they can keep silent. Yes, you want me to keep silent? You want me to shut up? Give me money. Yeah, give me money and I will shut up. Give me my own shares and I will mute up. I will not say a word, ladies and gentlemen. That was what was going on. And that is how they have been able to carry out this syndicate for more than 2 years or 3 years, ladies and gentlemen. And that is how they have been able to defraud all these programs in the USA. Yeah? Imagine someone is crying in the USA so hard that his money has been stolen, working so hard. The money that was meant to, to be used for autistic people has been stolen. They don't even have basic common conscience. It's a criminal mind, ladies and gentlemen. And just like the way I told you, these people do not know that they are stealing because corruption has been normalized in their own country. So when they are taking away this money, they know it's their money. Hey,